Now, following the resignation of Abdullahi Adamu under controversial circumstances, the ruling All Progressives Congress is currently searching for a new chairperson. Former Chairman Adamu believed to have resigned after facing criticism over his handling of the party's primaries and for allegedly being unable to account for funds raised from the sales of presidential nomination forms. The APC Constitution states that the Deputy National Chairman will assume the role of acting National Chairman in the event of the National Chairman's resignation. This means that Abubakar Kyari, the Deputy National Chairman, North, is currently the acting National Chairman of the APC. Well, still, the party must hold a national convention to elect a new national chairperson. The way is expected to be held in the coming weeks. Now, well, to get a sense of where things are in the ruling All Progressives Congress, I'm joined now in the studio by Lanre Issa-Onilu, who is a former National Publicity Secretary of the party. Good to see you, and thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Well, your party is making headlines, and it's all about what many are asking, what's going on within the APC?
Well, politics is going on, democracy is going on. And I realize you use the word controversy. I do not see controversy here. I think the media should be able to track development and stability in the APC's party politics. You had cases in the past when things like this happen. You see trucks of security personnel, mounting guards at the gates of the party secretariat when there are issues like this. But in this case, you didn't see anything like that. And you can't have controversy if you don't have two sides arguing or debating or fighting. Now, you've not seen another side coming up to say this and that. So this is a smooth transition, and it's democracy. You could have a change of guard by whatever means you desire in your party. Demonstration of maturity of our party is what has happened. And I think the media should track that and see the growth, how we are developing. That even when we think we need to adjust, we're able to manage it in a way that there's no crisis, there's no controversy. Otherwise, we will not even be talking of who takes over now. We will still be dealing with the aftermath of that resignation. But we don't have that. So
let me tell you one of the things the media is tracking, and we'll backtrack, and it has to do with the resignation of Abdullahi Adamu. If you say there's no controversy, it looks to many that historically speaking, the only chairman who actually has gone, through the process is John Odiga-Oyegun. Adams Oshiomhole also left in such controversial circumstances, bickerings, and we're also getting to hear these, small voices within your party leading to the resignation of Abdullahi Adamu. He's not, I doubt if you've seen the resignation letter of Abdullahi Adamu, have you?
So are you in doubt that it exists?
I'm not in doubt.
I'm
not in doubt.
No.
I'm asking you, have you seen it?
I don't have to see it because I'm not in an office where I should have access to such letter. The authority that should do that is the party itself. The party has come out to say we have two letters, one from the chairman, one from the secretary. Nobody has contradicted that.
And the man in the hour of the storm has said he was not going to speak to journalists until the president arrives. And the president has since come, and no word from Abdullahi Adamu.
Well, it's within his right to also decide to speak or not. But what that points to is that there are no issues. I know that the media is eager to have, content and things like that, and then generate controversial issues and make people to boil and things like that. But we have refused to boil. So,
as you refuse to boil, you still also cannot run away from the fact that before his resignation, there was a man, I think there's still a man there, Saliu Lukman, who was always about the national chairman at that point in time. And it was all in the news space.
Yeah, well, there was nothing Saliu Lukman said that was not known to many party members. But we have different ways of approaching issues like that. You could choose to come out. You could go, take some actions discreetly. It's been a touch or conscience bearer, if you like, so it put that into the public space. And but I can assure you, this is not about Lukman, Saliu Lukman. It's about APC. And the leadership of APC has decided that this is the route to take. And there is a consensus on that. And that's why you have this stability. And yes, you mentioned Oyegun. Before Oyegun, there was Chief Bisi Akonde. He had no issue. But that period, we had more important issue of a new party trying to settle down. But we have a political party now that has ruled this country governed this country for 8 years. So now it's no longer that small party of 2013-2014 up to 2015 election. We now have a big party, the biggest party in Africa, that has delivered, results across the country, national election. This is the third time. So there's no way you will not have contestation of interest. And so what we are having now is interest, at a particular time, certain interest will prevail, at another time, another interest will prevail. But on this issue, it appears to me, and that's what I think the media should be mindful of, that the party is growing and there's stability within our system. The internal mechanism to resolve our issues are operating fully. And we have engaged that internal mechanism to resolve what could have snowballed into a national controversy or crisis, as you would like, to call it. But it's not like that. So
to resolve then means that there is an issue. And for some political analysts, they still think that there is a block within the APC, and that there seems to be some friction between the CPC block and the ACN block within the APC. I'm quite sure you must have heard that amongst analysts.
Well, I don't know what glasses they use to see that line of divide. We've lost that line. We can't see it again. Those of us who are members, when we see any member of APC, we see an APC member. We don't see any mark on anybody's forehead saying this one is coming from CPC or from ABGA or from AMPP or from PDP or from ACN. What we have now is APC. And if you look at this government critically, even from the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, that line had completely been erased. So it doesn't exist. If you talk of the chairman, where will you classify him? Would you say it was CPC? It wasn't. Would you say it was ACN? It wasn't. It was in PDP. So we don't have that now. It's about to move the party forward. Because as the governing party, you must have stability, and you must have the kind of personnel in the party that can support the capacity of the government. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is coming to this government with huge capacity. And so you need that kind of capacity in the party. And as well as you need...
to continue. I'll come back to the capacity. I will round off to talk about the capacity of the president. Yeah. Let's quickly stretch this, and it has to do with still with your party. Are there names being touted? Is your party looking at zoning these positions that are vacant at the moment?
Yeah, whatever is going on and is still at the level of discussions within some caucuses and among the leaders. We are going to have a caucus meeting, and then that will graduate into the NEC meeting where that will be finalized. But it is normal that at this stage there are discussions going on amongst our leaders.
Not too long I had conversations with notable politician and elder statesman, Bode George, speaking about how the PDP is working to come back. Doesn't that also worry you, knowing full well that some people within your party are still thinking that Adamu is being punished from what happened in your, prior to your party's primaries?
I would need to know what you meant by what happened.
I'm looking at the issues happening in the PDP that the PDP is trying to fix, pre-election issues. And I'm saying that your party, some people are also saying within your party that Senator Abdullahi Adamu is also being punished on account of issues.
Are you expecting any more resurrection? That was one, and that will be the only one. PDP is dead.
No.
What are we fixing in PDP?
You didn't get that.
Yeah.
I'm saying as the PDP is fixing its house.
There's nothing to fix in PDP. That's the point I'm making.
As PDP is fixing its house, people are saying that you need to be very wary, otherwise you'll be in dire, straits, because Mr. Adamu is being punished for his actions leading up to the primaries.
I don't know what the actions are, and I don't know where the meeting that decided, where the decision was taken.
Let me give you one of
to
the
punish.
actions.
Yeah.
One is his open support for Ahmed Lawan, who was the Senate president.
Yeah, that was a poor judgment. You expect the chairman of the party to not be partitioned within the structure. You expect him to be impartial. You understand? So that was a poor judgment. There are other issues along that, if that's what you're talking about. So were those issues the reason why this was taken? Then it will point to the fact that this party understands what it needs to do to put it out in order. If you have a chairman who continuously have some kind of missteps, there's a level of imprudence that you don't expect at that level.
Now let's move on. You are going to jump into the president's, and it's linked to your party, because Nigerians for the first time in the history of the nation, people gave your president, your candidate, the Nigeria's president, an overwhelming support. Now, looking at the removal of subsidy, everyone said it's okay, but now it's looking as if it's not an okay thing. How do you feel knowing full well that this is almost going to be a tough one for President Tinubu and his cabinet that he's about to build? Yeah,
we see, some of us who know the president very well, part of the reason why we took a bet that it was the best for the country, and it remains the best for the country, is because it doesn't have courage in short supply. It has courage to take decisions no matter how difficult, as long as the end product will be in the interest of the generality of Nigerians. That was part of what we saw and we know of him. And he has demonstrated that in his corporate life, in his political life. So this issue
different this time. Ardo's task, removal of petrol subsidy, the debt profile of Nigeria.
Yeah.
What magic or what economy is it going to
let's address the issue of fuel subsidy.
Go.
It will take the kind of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to, within 1 hour of his being sworn in, to pronounce such a very important and fundamental policy that many presidents would rather, snake away from. He faced it because we had to. And you could see that, yes, there will be pains, and there are pains already. And we all knew there would be pains. And we all knew that you can't go to the labor room to express, to be dancing there. No, there will be pains. But the outcome is what you're going to celebrate. Well, we must bear the pains. But the government is not going to fold its arms and allow people to just be suffering. And that's why you're having a 24/7 discussion on what are the interventions in the immediate term. Because that will be the immediate term, the short-term measure that is like safeguard, some kind of stop guard, gaps to cushion the effect of the pains. So that within the next 6 months, when you are going into the medium term, and when some of the policies begin to mature, you have at least been able to reduce the pains on the people. So this will be rolled out very shortly. And it's a package. It's not a single item thing. As some people have been talking about 500 billion. No. There are several, interventions that are coming. For stakeholder mapping is ongoing to know what should go to this particular segment, to that segment, so that the generality of Nigerians, one way or the other, you are being touched, by some of this intervention. In the meantime, And then when we get into the maturity of some of these policies into the medium term, we begin to see concrete outcomes. And then the long term will be for us as a nation to have those basic developmental the fundamentals that without which you cannot grow, you cannot come out of, you cannot have economic recovery. Your electricity, there's no country that can survive or develop without you having a stable supply of electricity. And if you watch and follow Asiwaju during the campaign, he emphasized the fact that in the last 1,000 years, there has not been anything better than electricity as far as inventions are concerned. So that's what man has invented, the biggest in the last 1,000 years. So, and he has the formula to ensure that happens. Don't forget what happened in Lagos, because he is not just coming without a reference. Lagos remains a reference. Almost in every sector you can talk about, Lagos is a reference.
You know, let's close on this. It looks pretty much like deja vu. Nigerians have seen this before, because the feeling...
But they have not seen that's what people are made to know before.
The feeling, recall the feeling Nigerians had when President Buhari was sworn in, and the patience Nigerians had even for 6 months without having a cabinet. And it's almost looking like that for some Nigerians who initially had given that overwhelming endorsement to President Tinubu. So what are you thinking your party can say to the people that will make them truly see that there is work in progress?
Well, I think they have seen it already. You see, the most important thing that the masses need now is how to lift some of the cost burdens. And the critical...
And quickly, too.
Yeah, quickly. One of the fundamental cost burdens that Nigerians are facing is the issue of paying school fees. Cost of education is killing people. And for a government within 1 month to say we have a policy on student loan, so you don't have to worry about how am I going to survive. So, and it's a win-win for our schools, a win-win for the parents and guardians, for the students, and for government. Everybody benefits from this. And that's a huge cost burden that is going to be lifted, you know, through that policy. So that shows a government that already understands what it needs to do, and it's not waiting. You know, the president promised he would hit the ground running. He started running less than 1 hour after he was sworn in.
I think it's a fine place for us to leave it. Lanre Issa-Onilu, many thanks for speaking with us here.